right. Just wanted to open up with some good healing vibes to bring them in, clearing away the energy, the negativity, to allow in positivity and guidance to those who wish to seek it. So today I am just basically going to be sitting here sharing some knowledge, whether it's, physical or it's spiritual, financial, just, sharing my knowledge, sharing my experience. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to also be setting up a pick a card reading that I will be posting on my Facebook group tomorrow. And I will also be doing donation readings. So I will be putting my Cash App in the chat over to the side. Once I receive the donation, I will then verify that is you in the chat. Just say just sent if you send a donation, and then we will go ahead and start your reading. I call upon earth, wind, fire, and water to ground me in this sacred space as I channel the divine messages to guide those who wish to seek guidance. Blessed be. May you find peace, love, and stability within your life. Okay. Ow, I just burnt myself. So, my pick a card for my Facebook group. My Facebook group is called Azure Light. Just go ahead and go on there, answer the questions, and I'll add you on, and you'll be able to see the pick a card reading that I'll be working on in this video in between doing the donation readings. I also just want to, chill, talk, see what the collective is up to, see what kind of adventures we're going through, what our biggest challenge is, how we can overcome it, kind of come together as a collective, as a unit, I don't know. That's something that I love to think about a lot, is just being able to come together with these others that we relate to and try to create something bigger than us, create something that will bring the rest of us together, which is probably a fool's dream, but a dream is better than none. So that's what I have to say on that note. So to talk about the donation, it is $20. You'll be saving $5 from my original listing. I will occasionally be doing live readings like this where it's just a random donation, and it'll most likely be deals from my regular pricings. So always when I check in, take advantage of that. Give me a subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. But this is really meant more as a sit down and talk than it is I'm not reading in between each reading, because I've noticed that when I do that, people don't log on to get actual guidance from me. So, because most of the times when I do collective guidance, it seems to go right over everyone's head. But that's okay. That's okay. Maybe I'm not sending the right message, but it's definitely something that I want to work on and create a stronger connection with my skill, with my gift, more than I would say skill. So I'm just gonna take a second. I'm gonna just make this sacred space for healing, for connectivity, for those to be welcome to their true nature, to their vulnerability, to express who they are without really pushing themselves down or neglecting their true emotions or allowing their thoughts to overrule them. These are things that I often find are challenging within the society that we live in. But as we move forward as a collective, I've noticed especially because of 2020, we've really opened up into how we see others, because we're kind of putting everything under a microscope and bringing focus to the things that in the past probably wouldn't have been seen if we didn't have to, be isolated, or we didn't have to, be stuck in a certain routine that I feel can hinder us from seeing basically the truth. Because we over 2020 we saw the realization of how depression really impacts people. We saw how COVID was impacting people. We saw how other people were impacting other people because of how they felt about the pandemic. We saw how people, even during a pandemic, stood up for each other in times that were hard and unbearable for a majority of our communities. And I feel like as we go into 2020, we're going into this energy of deserving, deserving love, deserving peace, deserving happiness, deserving all of those things that you keep trying to manifest. We're going to use this clear quartz for pile 1. A rose quartz for pile 2. Now I feel like I should just do all quartz. Maybe. Fire quartz will be group 3. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm trying to take care of some business. I bought a faulty hard drive, and I don't think it's faulty. I just think I'm using it for the wrong thing. And I can't figure out how to get it to work. So I'm just trying to get rid of it. And then all these guys are commenting on it, asking me what it is and how it works. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just trying to get it to work. So basically, I'm pretty sure I was scammed, which is pretty cool. No, it's not. I'm pretty salty about it, but that's all right. It's okay. But for pile 4, I'm going to do a smoky quartz. That's chalcedony. Oh, I need to get my life together. That's smoky quartz. That one looks different than all the rest. I don't know if I want it. No, I'm going to do it because my other smoky quartz is smooth and these are all about. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reveal of this pick a card will be on my group, my Facebook group. Here, let me see if I can go ahead and get you guys a link in the chat. Let's see what we can do for you. Oh, okay, that's not what I searched, but okay. But going back to what we were talking about, so as we go into 2021, it's we're starting to see, well, not really see, but we have this feeling, this anticipation about what's going to happen next. And it's so exciting. It's I'm so anxious, but it's it's right there. You can feel it, something is there. And it's it's because of all the hard work you put in 2020 of dealing with all of this heavy burden and not letting it weigh you down. Yes, of course, you probably had days where you struggled to get out of bed and you struggled to get yourself up and moving and putting on your socks and putting on your shirt and saying, hey, I can do this today. And that's fucking awesome. And yes, it took a long time. It took a lot of effects, and it took a lot of really back and forth energy of, how are we going to let this affect us? And when we are actively every day realizing, oh my gosh, I'm sluggish, I'm heavy, how can I get out of this energy? When we start to focus on the how and the change, that's when we start to experience it, is because we're focusing on it. We're focusing on making it happen. So if you're tired of the way that your life is moving and you're telling yourself every day, I'm over this, I want something different, I need something new in my life, you have to create it. Now you have to create it. You don't have to, but you're going to continuously have that at the back of your head. Hey, change needs to happen. It's going to continuously breathe down your back. Once you start on this kind of journey, you literally can't turn back. I've tried to turn back so many times, because I was so scared of this journey. I was so scared of the healing that I'm doing that I couldn't commit to the path. And so I always had this energy telling me, hey, you can't run. And it kept getting louder and louder and louder. And now it's like it's filling the room, and it's telling us we can't live in the way that we were living before. We can't live that way. It is not how we're meant to live. It drains us. It's toxic. It's not okay for us to try and be something we're not. And in this society, we always have to be something we're not just to be accepted. And last year, being isolated in the way that we were really helped me realize this on a grand scale, on how affected everyone is. Masks. Oh my gosh, can we talk about masks for a second? This is something that is really closely related to what I'm talking about. You don't need to wear your mask if you're sitting in your car. You do not need to wear your mask if you're walking down the street. Now, if somebody's walking towards you and you feel like you want to be polite and put your mask on, okay, cool. That's cool. But some things are so, I feel like that strays from what I'm trying to say. Let me collect my thoughts for a second. But my point on that is that there's the influence of society. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The mask, wearing the masks in places where it's not necessary is from fear. It's from the fear of, what could happen if I don't wear my mask? What could happen if I don't wear gloves? And of course, this is old, probably beginning of COVID, but it still applies to this moment right now, because there are still people who I run into and they immediately go to put their mask up over their face, and it's like I'm still 2 feet away from them, it's 6 feet or whatever. And it's whenever I have those moments, those interactions, I don't necessarily worry, because we're all worried in our own way, and we all see COVID differently. There are some people who believe it like it's their religion, and there are some people who are literally licking everything because they don't give a fuck. That's disgusting, but it's probably true. There are people out there who really don't care, and that's okay, And in some ways, to me, those are people who don't let society affect them, because to me, the society that we live in has really made it to where they basically create whatever kind of vision, and then they basically show it to us so that way we create it, because we are constantly thinking about it. If they are constantly putting it on the news and we're constantly watching it and taking in this energy and this information that they're sharing with us, just as we sit with ourselves and our emotions and we let them get the best of us, or our thoughts get the best of us, that information that they send to us can also get the best of us. It's just the same. And it's not bad and it's not good. It's just a human thing. We were easily swayed, and it's not a bad thing, because sometimes whenever you're on this sway where it's anything can happen, that's really where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be on this energy of allowing things to be as they are. And so we got COVID, so we gotta, let it be what it is. But that's okay. And we have people in this world who don't care about others. And you know what? That's okay, because we care about others, And that's something that took me a long time to realize, is that even if somebody else is against the way that you live, it doesn't mean that you have to change it or be insecure about it or let them make you feel like you're wrong for the way that you're living life, because literally every person breathes and speaks different. So if your life doesn't align with somebody else's, nobody in this situation can hold it against another to say, hey, you're doing it wrong, and it's like, and that's why, like, within our society, that's why it's so toxic, is because it's this whole idea of, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, and like, I want you to do it. And I guess in some ways that's inspiration, but sometimes this inspiration is taken too far, and then people start just going along, and there are points where people are affected mentally by it, where they're like, oh, if I'm not like this, then I'm not good enough. And it's like, if we live in a society that does this to people, something's clearly wrong. If we're affecting people on a mental level like this. To the new person who just joined, I'm doing donation readings and putting together a pick a card reading for my group. The group is tagged in the chat. I will be posting this pick a card reading tomorrow after I'm done getting it all typed up. But today I'm doing donation readings for those who are interested. Just if you are interested, just go ahead and cash at me, and then let me know in the comments when you're done with what it is that you wish to receive in your message, and we'll go ahead and get started. But for now, I'm going to work on my pick a cards and continue my lovely rant about, our society and how it affects us. Especially, I want to bring a really big microscope onto our spiritual society. So I wouldn't say I'm in a lot of groups, but on Facebook I have a group that I'm in, and I enjoy it. It has a lot of my family and my collective within it, and I'm really appreciative of this group. It always helps me find new information and open myself up to new opportunities, and it's just something I'm grateful to have in my life. Yes. So I can do message. No, I'm currently doing pick a card readings for my group. So I'm on live. I'm talking about like our society, spiritual communities, like all of these types of things. I'm just, talking with you guys and doing the pick a card reading. And if you are interested in donating and getting a 3-card reading, you can do that, and I can give you a message from Spirit. But this group is something I'm very grateful for, and I've learned a lot from it. I've seen separation within this group. I've seen people come together within this group, and it's really showed me how different everyone's perspectives are on like religion and spirituality and what it is to every person. For some, they have deities, they have altars, and some don't even consider that witchcraft. They're just saying they have an altar, and they light candles, and it's energy work to them. They're energetic beings. We're all energetic beings, but they literally they love energy. Like, they literally specialize in energy. And there are people who they go with the angels. They do angel guidance. There are people who only are on there because they like tarot, and it's really interesting to see how vastly different the spiritual community is and how it can come together. And like, the reason I'm pointing it out is because I feel like that's how our society should be. We should all be able to come together in these ways and not feel like stunted or blocked, or like we're not allowed to really, like what we like. And with that in mind, it goes to show that it's more or less not about, I would say, it's not about a society or spirituality. It's about creating something, I wouldn't say like a society, because I feel like societal living is going to slowly fade away. We're going into something different, and it's going to be heavily impacted by the spiritual community, because things are shifting to a more spiritual perspective. We're all feeling more energetic this year. I don't know, but whenever I walk into like a store or a mall or anything like that where there's lots of people, I can usually I get overwhelmed. I have a heavy energy come over me, and I don't know if it's like things are like shifting rapidly, but it's been more intense as we've come into 2021. And I just think that's pretty interesting, how you see these groups of spiritual people growing bigger and bigger and bigger and expanding, and you see society just kind of dwindling, and people are just like, why would I want to conform to this when you're taking away all of my rights, you're taking away my freedom. When you're a spiritual person, when you're following witchcraft, when you're a pagan, when you're following a faith, a belief, you're creating a system that works for you. When you are literally breathing and living life, there's ease. And that's through allowing your spirit to evolve. It's evolution in a way. And that's why we're moving from the societal to the spirituals, because we are literally evolving as beings. There are people who and it's hard because some people don't know what's happening to them, out of nowhere. Suddenly they can hear spirits, or they can see them, or they're experiencing energy on a whole nother level than they used to. And it's fucking scary. I'm not going to cap with you. The first time I felt somebody's energy, in my energy, I legit got so scared. I pushed them back, with my energy. And I pushed them back, physically, because I was so scared of what I was experiencing. And that's what other people are experiencing right now in their rooms, hiding, not sure if they're going to be accepted because of the way that we currently live. And I saw 2222 on the timer, and then I have 2 people in here. So that's pretty interesting to me. That's the collective coming together. That's the collective realizing that we are stronger than what they want us to believe. Oh my God, my entire, I just shook, because it's frustrating to know what we're capable of and still be censored. You know what I mean? If we from a young age were properly taught self-acceptance and self-love and self-care, and given the freedom to grow and expand, and we were told magic, if we were actually expressed that magic is something you can believe in from a young age, we would be far more magical than we are now, because we create our realities. I literally just made a TikTok about a manifestation, because I've been heavily manifesting things that I really, really want in my life, and I just got one of them, and that's amazing. And it's because I put all that energy and that thinking and that feeling into what it would be like to have my own place, to have my own things. I put all of my energy into that, and I made it happen. So if from a young age we're constantly believing, oh my gosh, magic is real, fairies are real, all of this stuff, it would be different. We would be different, and it's just interesting to think about is how if we all decided today that we were going to teach our children that magic was real, maybe we couldn't use it, but they probably could. And I'm going to quote that. It's not the actual full quote, but Jaden Smith said it first. That's all I got to say. Jaden Smith said it first. If I can't do it, I'm going to make sure my kids can, And that's one of the biggest things. If we're going to go into some starseed talk, I'm going to take these bottom 2 through that. If we're going to go into some starseed talk, because I feel like that's kind of starting to ebb its way in right now, the indigos are doing what they need to do right now. The society is starting to collapse. COVID is creating a dissonance. Our Black Lives Matters is creating a dissonance. It's making people realize, hey, these people don't have good intentions towards us. They don't want to see us succeed. They are literally trying to block us from a world where we live freely. They literally want us to continue living in this society where we're working day in, day out, and not really contributing to anything. And it's really crazy. It's really crazy how they're trying to get us to be drained to be censored, so that way we're not able to have that energy to put out there to create something for somebody to be inspired by. Like, for the longest time, especially when I was pregnant, I was not able to really get on here and do my live readings and share my message, my story, what I have to tell people, because I didn't have the energy. I was worried about how I was going to take care of my child, because I live in a society that demands that I, as a mother, I work literally as soon as I'm done healing from my surgery, or as soon as I'm done healing from having my child. It's not. And even after you're done healing from those 6 weeks, you still have a lot more healing to do. It's not just done after those 6 weeks. So imagine being put into a stressful situation where you have no control. You're just there and you're supposed to do what you're told. And you have to face people and deal with potential anxiety and stress, and you're dealing with other people's energy. They could be coming in depressed. Could be coming in anxious. They're scared to be in there making that purchase, and it's just like the work-life balance that we have isn't adequate for what we need for our health necessarily. Yeah, of course I don't feel like the work industry is necessarily toxic. If you go in there and you're straight up about your boundaries, just as they are, you'll actually do a pretty good job with working and finding a good company that you like. And maybe you can even end up ranking up in that company and becoming a higher, manager, and then you become the owner of the store. Like, all of that stuff is really cool too, but it's more or less, it's not about that more than it is about the fact that whenever they do first put people into this work industry, they're not really ever properly taught about it and how it works. They're just kind of told, you got to go do it. And so when you do, it's like school all over again, and it's intense and it's very overwhelming. And it's like, I had this full belief that, like, my sister, she told me this one time at the beginning of our spiritual journey, is that we shouldn't live in a brick and mortar system like how we do with businesses and banks and all this. We should have a trading system, and that's how it should be. I mean, the banks don't matter. They're storage places. They're meant as storage for the money. But for like actual business itself, I feel we could all trade. We could trade and we could reduce the freaking trash in this world. Do you know how many people have extension cords? Like, extension cords, that's a good example. You know how many people have extension cords in their house that they're not using, that somebody else needs, but they have to go to the store and pay $8 to get a new one? Like, this person isn't using their extension cords, like, at all. They're literally in a box on the bottom stack in the basement. Like, what? And we can't just trade that? Hey, here's a couple blankets. Here's a blanket for your extension cord. Here's a pillow for your extension cord. Here's a TV cable, HDMI cable for your extension cord. Like, it's that simple. And in that way, we reduce landfills. We reduce the cost of things. We allow ourselves to create communities because we're connecting with others. We're allowing things to find a new space. We're basically creating change by getting rid of these things that we are no longer using. That's fucking dope. Like, if we could live in that type of trading system, I feel like our world would change in a way that at first it'd be a little chaotic, because there are some people that really rely on money and how it really impacts their life. They rely on consistently, like, some people literally have shopping addictions. And so if they're and I wouldn't say shopping is being taken away, but it's being lessened. Like I'm pretty sure there are 2 Bath and Body Works like really close to each other here where I live, and it's ridiculous. Like, get one. You don't need 2. Why do you need two that are like literally 5 miles apart? It makes no sense to me. It makes none. Like gas. Oh my gosh. There's gas stations on every corner. I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of it. Like literally, you can come up to a 4-way and there's a gas station here and there's a gas station here. Like what? It like in some ways it makes sense because population, but in another sense, it's like try to find a more efficient way, which I mean, I guess that is their more efficient way to do it, but you're taking up space. You're just going to have to tell these people to be patient. And that's what it mainly is. That's why they had to build the second one, was because everybody else was too impatient to wait and get their gas, that they had to make another building because everyone wants to complain and say, well, I want it now. Well, guess what? You can't fucking have it now. All right. Because you want to complain about it. I'm sorry. I'm a little salty about that one. Maybe I'm triggered myself. But I don't know. I feel like the way we go about things could be done so much more efficiently for everyone, for disabled people, for mentally disabled for people, for emotionally disabled, for everyone, like literally everyone. And most of the times these disabilities that we're seeing are caused by our society. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about depression? Because fuck. If there was anything that I've seen that could be derived from our society, from social media, from the way we interact with other people, it is depression. And it is because we are so sad from what we've experienced, and we're so scared to experience it again that we're always fucking sad. Like, we're so afraid of the past happening again. We're so afraid of what they're doing that we are always depressed. Like, I don't know, there's probably a better way to explain it. Of course, everyone's depression affects them differently, but I feel no matter, the society still has a heavy weight on that, even if it's just the way that it affects how somebody goes about their day. It affects somebody's car. Like, people, I mean, personally, when I was younger, I was really insecure about like my car. Like, I don't know why, but whenever I was in my mom's car, I hated it. We always had a rundown car that didn't look nice, and I hated it with every bone in my body because I just wanted a nice car. Like, literally, I want to be driving a Mustang down the street, you know? Like, I want a nice car. And it's kind of like I would get upset about it because I'd see everybody else's nice cars and be like, well, I want to have a nice car, you know? And that it literally made me just kind of go down, like energetically go down, like I could never be good enough, you know, kind of thing. Like, it literally pulled me down because I was trying to compare myself to what everyone else has. And which is why I said everyone's depression is different. It could have been more personal than anything. But I feel like that's also partially anxiety, you know, and that's another mental thing that's caused by our society, is because, you know, we always have these deadlines, you know, work has to be done at a specific time. You have to get in at a specific time. Like, there's all these specifications within our sorry, I've been trying to take care of some business all morning. But I think I'm off that topic. I'm over it now, just because, I don't know, I want to move away from that type of energy, you know, where I let the idea of other people's thoughts really control me. And I guess that's why I'm trying to move away from it, is because I've noticed how it's inflicted my life a lot, and how sometimes I sit there and I think, well, this person or that person, and then I have to like shake my head and be like, whoa, no person, you're doing it to yourself by thinking about it, by letting it overwhelm you, by letting it literally become you. That is what you're doing whenever you let those emotions, like, okay, no, emotions, you should let those, unless they're overwhelming. If they're overwhelming, don't let emotions overcome you. Allow them to show you. allow them to show you what you're experiencing, you know. But I lost my train of thought. I'm starting to like veer off, so I think I'm almost over it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna finish these cards for this last set, and then I think I'm gonna go ahead and just drop a little short reading for this live because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it in my bones. Oh no, trading. I'm feeling this one. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a different deck out. So I have this cute little box over here, and I'm thinking of making more because I want to low-key do it. I want to make them as like personalized boxes, so they're made specifically for each person who gets them. So basically, whenever I do post this, it'll be like you choose like your favorite color, your favorite kind of scent, you know, those types of things, and then I just kind of throw the box together. What's your favorite crystal, or what's your focus right now? What are you trying to heal? What's your goal? And I have these cute little like spell jars, and they are spell jars. They're protection jars, and they're meant to bring in whatever you're trying to bring in. So if you're trying to heal your chakras, you can get a chakra system one. But these little spell jars, I would be probably getting. My mom makes them. Well, actually, she buys the products for them, and I make them for her because I like making them because it's fun. But she makes these cute little guys. She makes these little candles. This is a little owl dude. She makes them in all colors. She makes little skulls. She has like a skull tower. She has a lot of really cool stuff. I should have shared her link over there too. I probably will in my next live session. But basically, I want to make these cute little boxes, put a little candle in there. Mine is full of crystals right now, and I have like 3 decks in it, which, of course, if you were interested in tarot, that would be a question, and then I would add a tarot deck. And, of course, the prices would vary, especially if you get like a tarot deck in the box, because tarot decks can be $20+. So the box would be at least $15, at least. But it probably wouldn't go higher than 20, depending on what everything is and if you add on things. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and I wanted to share it. So it's something I'm thinking of doing and would love to do for those who are trying to find healing. And if I had one of these cute little boxes at the beginning of my journey, I feel like I would have been inspired to be like, this is Bloom on it. I would have been like, oh my gosh, it's a fresh start to a new day. I put like a little sticky note up here so I can like put little affirmations. But yeah, I thought maybe that would be something that somebody else might be interested in, you know? But yeah, I got this out because I was trying to put it on. All right, so I think I'm going to use my Rider White and this is Hero's Journey Oracle. So I'm going to go ahead and just give this a good little cleansing real quick before we start. I'm going to do a little bit of the Tibetan bowl, do a little grounding within this space. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still learning how to do that. But I enjoy doing it. It's a very nice feeling. It kind of feels like I'm allowing the energy to kind of reverberate throughout my body, and then I'm allowing the negativity to be released through it. And then like whenever I'm using it for like readings, it kind of creates a field of protective energy within the space, allowing for not only healing for the reading and those who are receiving the reading, but it also really helps me feel grounded and connected to my guides. So let's go ahead and just start. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I don't know. Spirit has something if I'm pulling the decks out. Spirit has a message. Let's see what it is. It's so crazy because that person asked if Spirit had a message, but yes, Spirit does have a message, but it is not now. Well, it is now, but not. I'm done talking. Fuck. So the message is important. And I feel like whoever is logged on here, I feel like, do you come to my lives every time I go live? I don't know why I'm getting that feeling, but I low-key am getting that feeling. I don't know. It's probably not that, but it's probably just a familiar spirit. We're going to go with those bad boys. And this one that's right here on the bottom, it says, attune to the call. Tune in and turn on. It's number 1. So to me, that is a new beginning. You are experiencing something within yourself that is making you want to shift. Maybe you're being triggered daily. Maybe there's somebody in your life and you're seeing reflections of yourself in them and you don't like who they are. And so you're trying to change that, prevent it from happening. Let's go ahead and see what this call means. Okay, that's interesting. I like that. Okay. So basically something is coming in for you. I'm excited. This energy feels nice. It could be new love or something closely related to your heart. Something you hold dear to yourself. Maybe you're trying to create something. 3 is important for you. 3 is like very important. Like I have 333 on the board. So 3 is definitely an important number. Maybe you'll do something in counts of 3. So say you do something 3 times, or you decide to do it 6 times, or you decide to do it 9 times, kind of like a routine. Like that's why they say it takes 21 days to learn a habit. That's 7 consecutive of 3s, 7 groups of 3. So if 7 weeks you do the same thing for 3 days out of the week, you will inevitably continue that schedule. I don't know why I felt guided to say that, but maybe you're trying to implement a new schedule. But I feel like what's really happening is you are opening yourself up. You're allowing new opportunities to come in. You heard the call, and now you're trying to take the action steps to listen to that call. You want guidance. You want to be welcomed with open arms. You have this creativity. You have this uniqueness to you, and I feel like you're done censoring yourself, or you're trying to gain confidence to show who you are. Now is the time. Whatever you're wanting, do it now. Like the veil is thin. We have the reward and how much good can you handle. Like those 2 cards with the call, like is literally like spirit saying, "Hey, are you ready? Are you ready?" They're getting ready to rev up the engines. They're getting ready to go down. You know, whenever they hit the horn and then the drift cars go, they like slingshot down. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this energy where you're kind of sitting here like this, just chilling. you're like, I'm trying to change, and you start to slowly make those action moves. And because you take those little baby steps, it's like, shwoom, and you start running. You know, when a baby gets up and they start running before they start walking? Yes, sir. That's the energy I'm feeling here. One thing, though, my mouth started watering. So bite your tongue. Bite your tongue. You might say something to someone that is going to trigger them, or it's going to trigger you with the way that they react to what you say to them. So basically, watch what you say. I feel like that could definitely impact it slowing down, but it won't actually like prevent it from happening. But it will cause a small like path of conflict if you basically don't, like, if you keep talking and you like start saying some shit, like shit talking to somebody, you could cause that block to create itself, and then you'll have to wait a little bit longer to get what you're trying to get at. So remember, sometimes we got to put our pride and our ego to the side, and we got to humble ourselves and say, well, if that's how that person wants to feel, that's how they feel, but I'm not going to let it affect me. That goes back to what we were saying earlier. Don't let it affect you. It's not yours to deal with, so don't let it affect you. Simple. I wish it was that simple. I wish we could say things and it would be that way, but we have to say things and consistently say the things, and we have to consistently do those things for those things to be that way. I'm going to flip this over to the bottom of the deck and get the overall energy. What would your higher self do? You are divinity in blue jeans. You are a star wrapped up in human clothing. You are a goddess. You are a god wrapped up in human clothing. The human clothing does not define your value. You define your value. What you believe is your value. The faith that you have within yourself and within what you are living in, with the world that you're trying to create, the faith that you have in your world is your value. If you don't have faith, if you don't have belief in something being good, if you don't have belief in the possibility of things going in your favor, if you don't have belief in that you deserve what you are trying to create, then you have no value, because you do not believe that you are valuable. You must believe that you are valuable. You are a queen, whether they put a crown on your head or not. You are an empress, whether you were the mother or not. You are the fucking lady, whether you were married to the president or not. And if you're a man, you're the motherfucking king. You're a motherfucking emperor. And you're the president if you fucking want to be. You're probably better at it than the one that we have now. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the president because that shit stresses me out. But not the point. Anyways, going on. You are valuable. You are an individual entity that is energy. Like, if you sit there with yourself and you just look at yourself, like, just appreciate yourself for a minute. Literally look at your legs, look at your arms, look at your hands, go look in the mirror, look at your face. That one freckle right there that you don't like, fuck it. That freckle's fucking gorgeous, bro. I know I was talking about how you need to keep your mouth shut, but this is also more towards you. You need to take care of yourself. This is about you creating what it is that you want. This is about you listening to yourself. So you have somebody who's been in your energy for, say, a couple months, and you're now at that point where you're like, no more. You're not allowed in my energy. And so you tell them to leave, right? Tell them to leave. It's that simple. You don't like them. They don't like you. That's why you don't like them. It's because they're playing fake in your face. Don't be friends with people who make you uncomfortable, because they're making you uncomfortable for a reason. Don't allow them to come into your life. because that person will inevitably have some sort of control over your life because you're always stressed about the next time that you got to hang out with them. Keep that in mind. Because sometimes when we seek outside energies, we oftentimes are met with people or things that we wish to be a certain thing in our life, but somehow it always turns upside down. Like somehow, whenever we're out there and we're actively looking for things, I feel like that's when we get the things that like are our lessons. But when we're sitting back and we're saying we don't give a fuck and we're minding our own business, that's when we start to get the things that we want. So basically, focus on your goals. Don't focus on what you don't want. Focus on what you want. Right here, I have the Ace of Wands. Focus on what you want. Create. What fills you with passion? What inspires you to pretend that you have magic? What inspires you to look at your hand and pretend there's an orb of energy? What makes you do that? What inspires you? We have the moon in reverse. So this Scorpio full moon energy from yesterday could have definitely impacted you. There was something that came to light, maybe. If not yesterday, it's coming to light soon. And it's about a loss. It's definitely about a loss. I feel like if it made your land barren, because we start off with grassy and then we end up in like a more desert area. So I feel like maybe it made you maybe kind of like say, I don't care. I need to take a step back. This is not a situation that I want to deal with right now. You want to go into a state of really analyzing what it is that this person told you. Maybe it was about feelings. Maybe somebody wasn't reciprocating them. Maybe they didn't feel the same way as you. We have the Knight of Swords on the bottom too. So I have the Ace of Wands, the Moon, the Six of Wands, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, and the Page of Wands. So there is definitely this fast movement here. It's very fast. I have 3 horses. They're all moving very fast for a reason beyond me. Sometimes it takes a little slow speed and a little patience to get where you need to go. But I feel like this interaction with this person, I feel like it was for the better, because this individual was not open. They were very closed off. They weren't open to emotional availability. Even though you could have seen success, they did not. There could also be a block potentially in one of your relationships. Maybe you're trying to move forward in a direction that's more accommodating to both you and your partner, or you want to offer them something. You want to do something nice for them. You could also be blocked with the way that you're thinking about your life right now, or the way that you're thinking about, your life. That's resonating and like hit me right here in my chest whenever I said that. The way you feel about yourself, that's why I said the way you feel, the way you see your self-care, your self-love, is very important right now. I feel like you're struggling a lot with it. And like I was talking about the deserving, you may not feel deserving of love, but like everyone is deserving of love. Even people who are the scum of the earth are deserving of love, because to hate is to be just as bad as them. To hate is to be just as bad as somebody who kills, because hatred is probably, to me, the worst poison on this planet. And so whenever we create space for everyone, we create space for ourselves to feel how we feel as well. Um, yeah, I'm going all in. So there's the Emperor. So you're definitely not feeling like the Emperor, but you are the Emperor. And I think that's what it is. Like how I was saying, like put your pride to the side, don't operate in ego. With this Emperor in reverse, that gives me heavy, heavy ego vibes. Like this Queen of Swords tried to come out, and I'm really drawn to it. I feel like she has been trying to. Yeah, we have the Death confirming the Moon, and the Queen of Swords confirming the Six of Wands in reverse. So to me, that's showing that whatever was said created change that no one wanted. No one wanted this change, but it happened. And so you are trying to move past it, and they're kind of still stuck in this energy of sort of like, why the fuck did I say that? You already said it. It's too late. You can't take your words back no more. Sorry. Also, I'm laying down because I'm uncomfortable. So this is interesting. We're going to make it work. The Emperor here in reverse is really, to me, is showing that there was potentially ego involved, like, or you were having trouble even trying to implement what it is that you're trying to create. You're struggling with seeing that strength within yourself, and not realizing who you really are. I feel like the main conflict here is you're dealing with immature people. You have a lot of immature people in your life. This Queen of Swords is a real one. This Queen of Swords that told you this shit is a real one. The Queen of Swords to me, yeah, she's a bitch, but she's always a real one. She'll always be real with you no matter what. Interesting. Something's like bouncing. So like something is like hitting like this and then repelling. Like it's repelling. I feel like it's emotions and thoughts. You can't find a balance between them. Emotionally, you want to be an independent bad bitch. And mentally, you don't want to walk away from an emotional, possibly fulfillment. But considering that it's separated in the 5 and the 3 of Cups, I don't feel like it's emotionally fulfilling. There could be a third-party situation, but that's not confirmed. I don't feel like it's that at all, but it's just a possibility. That may resonate for someone, anyone. With this King of Cups, though, next to this Queen of Swords, I feel like there's this energy of you have emotional maturity. You may not necessarily have like physical maturity, but you have emotional maturity. And I would say you have mental maturity. Sometimes you do get a little like prideful, but I don't feel like that's like anything that's too bad. You mainly do it more when you're like goofing around or anything like that. With the 9 of Pentacles underneath this Knight of Cups, I feel like that's really where this block came from. Was it's an individual that they don't want a relationship. They may not even want like a friendship. There's somebody who literally doesn't mind doing it on their own, like all the time. Like they enjoy being by themselves to where they find strength in walking away from you. They find strength in isolation. They're like the hermit. They gain knowledge from isolation. Maybe that's what you're dealing with is like a hermit or something. But I don't feel that you're really dealing with anyone specific except for like maybe one relationship. And that's already been basically clarified that this person had something important to tell you. They told you, and it caused this dissonance between you guys because at first you were just kind of like, what the fuck are you saying to me? What the fuck do you think you're doing? Oh my God, feelings were so hurt. I am so sorry I'm laughing. That's awful. So awful. But it's something that you're trying to heal from actively. I'm sorry for laughing. I don't mean to laugh. But we're ending this energy of walking away. Like with the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Cups, you're walking away. You're going away from the mental turmoil, you're going away from the emotional turmoil, and you're saying, I'm creating stability. Like you're trying to move, you're literally trying to move towards something better. And you're right now you're getting that message to do so. And I feel like what's really overwhelming you is this situation right here that you went through on an emotional level that caused maybe one of your connections that you were very grateful to have in your life to just, kind of separate. And it's really a matter of how you feel and how you connect to your journey and what it is you wish to achieve. I feel like with this person, there is definitely some something that you want to go back and talk to them about. With the Knight of Swords, though, I feel like it's not now. Right now, you're focused on moving in a different direction. And with the Eight of Cups, I feel like it could be emotional healing. You're not really trying to do anything other than emotionally heal and focus on your coins. You're this energy right here where you heard that calling and you're being guided to move forward is because you're moving towards success and stability for yourself. There is you have something you're working on, a project that is literally going to catapult you to where you don't even remember going through such bad things, where you're like, you'll think about it and you're like, oh shit, that really happened to me. Now look at me. I got, I can keep, at least, what am I even trying to say? What am I trying to say? Who knows what I'm trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I do know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not saying it. But basically, you're trying to move to a path where you're financially secure and you're emotionally stable for yourself. With this Nine of Pentacles, whatever conversation you had with this person, it impacted you in a way to where you decided you were your main focus until you were ready to be emotionally available. And I feel like you bringing this focus back in general, you coming here for this guidance is going to be the starting point to your shift. So now from here, it's up to you to say, hey, now that I feel a little bit more grounded, now that my spirit guides have got back to me, now that they have channeled a message to me, how can I use this information? How can I implement it in my life? How can I decide what it is that I want? How can I make that move to make it mine? All right, guys. I think my baby just woke up, so this will probably be the end of it, but that was basically everything that I had to say. Yeah, you do you. Be a badass bitch. Be a badass. Yeah, just be a badass. You guys have a good day, and I'll probably be back on tomorrow morning. So, see you then. Bye.
What you doing? Huh?